Bonjour everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot, and welcome to our second part of our trip from Nantes to Saint Martin. Now, on the last sector we flew the A321 on our inbound flight to Paris, where we are now changing onto the A330 and flying it on to Saint Martin for about an 8.5-hour flight across the Atlantic. Now, today we are going to fly the A330-200, which we haven't flown on the channel before, and it is equipped with the General Electric engine. Again, something that we haven't featured on the channel before. I'm really looking forward to it. This is my first flight with the GEs as well, as we have previously only used the Rolls-Royce on this channel. So let's go ahead and board our aircraft. Now we are boarding via the door 2 left over here into the second galley, which is just in front of the premium economy class over here, and then we've got the standard economy behind. Now the A330-200 isn't all that big, and in my opinion it really shows when you're walking through the business class over here, as the business all of a sudden seems really small compared to what we are used to from the 300. Alright, let's go all the way up front though. We are definitely not looking to fly in the business, even though I definitely wouldn't say no to that. But today we are looking to fly on the captain's seat, obviously. So let's go ahead and take a seat and prepare our aircraft for our service. So starting with the standards as always, engine masters off start, selector norm, weather radar is off, landing gear lever down, wiper selectors are off. So the aircraft is not powered right now, so we've actually got to check all 3 batteries, make sure that they are above 25.5 volts, and then we can go ahead and turn on our batteries and the 2 external powers. Now the aircraft is going to take a little while to boot up. We can go ahead and do a little bit of basic stuff in the meantime. So let's go over to the dashboard, import our flight plan from SimBrief, which for some strange reason is not working. Let's go ahead and fill that stuff out. So, and then it seems to have forgotten about all my other settings here as well. So let's go ahead and re-enter those, and then we also got to do our throttle calibration real quick. For some reason that I really don't know, sometimes the IndyBuilds seems to do this and seems to forget about all my data. In any case, here we are, and now everything is set again. Okay, perfect. So let's try that one more time. SimBrief flight plan is requested and SimBrief flight plan is downloaded. Now while the aircraft is starting up in the background, let's go ahead and have a quick look at the flight plan directly in SimBrief, which in my opinion is a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and view the PDF version of it. Starting out at the general route, we are leaving Paris towards the west, and then we are basically flying across the Atlantic Ocean for almost the entire time. That's easily 7.5 hours that we are going to be over the water today. In terms of significant weather, we do have a couple of CBs here, but only until flight level 300, the highest going up to flight level 350. The good thing is, the A330-200 goes really high. We'll probably enter the North Atlantic in flight level 380 or something the likes, so I'm not worried about those CBs down here at all. Something that I am worried about though is that marker number 2 over here. When we are crossing the jet stream, you can see we've got moderate, occasional, severe turbulence down here, up to flight level 380. So that is something that we'll have to take into account. The other side of the Atlantic, luckily, is easy going on our way down into the Caribbean. Looking into the weather forecast itself, let's have a look. Departure airport Charles de Gaulle, Carvoc easterly winds, and for our destination airport in Saint Martin, a couple of showers in the vicinity, but overall very good weather conditions. Last but not least, our primary alternate, Pointe-à-Pitre, is showing clear skies and the forecast is very good as well. Now if we go up to our flight plan, we are planned at a zero fuel weight of 152 tons, and the initial flight level will be 370, and then as guessed, flight level 380 once we are entering the North Atlantic. Going down into the fuel, we do have ETOPS fuel on board, and it's almost an hour of ETOPS fuel, and with that we don't even have to think about any additional fuel for any weather or anything the likes anymore. With those 5,000 kilos extra, I'm happy. 5.9 takeoff plus 500 taxi, so 59.5 is going to be our block fuel for the day. Okay, then let's go into the payload page and download the SimBrief data, and 59.3 over here, let's make that 59.5. Here we go. Okay, apply the load, and we make it an instant load. 500 is a little less. That's looking better. Alright, wonderful. So, with that now done, let's go back to the overhead and start working on our flights. So the IRSs are coming on, the lights are already set. Suppose we can turn the intake lights off, we don't really need those today. And here we go. Okay, so preliminary takeoff data. Let's go down here, takeoff, synchronize, and oh no, it doesn't know any runways. Well, that normally points to a problem with the streaming of the data. So, or it just didn't load the flight into here. Interesting, it downloaded the OFP but nothing here. Well, here we go, there's our runway. Okay, so runway 09 right. Is it? Yeah, it's gotta be. Okay, 09 right, dry. You can please synchronize the winds as well. Takeoff weight, let's have a look. Payload page gives us 212 tons. So, weight is 212. Conf 2 takeoff, air conditioning off, calculate. And something we can do is to change the takeoff runway length over there to accommodate for any possible intersection takeoff we might do. So let's take the ground overview chart over here for a moment. Give me that one in detail, please. And if we go down here, we can go from Tango 6 most likely, which is going to shorten our runway rather significantly. So if this is 500 meters, then we're looking at 500, well, almost 1,000 meters. Okay, that's a bit too much, but let's say Tango 3 then. So 500 meters runway shortening, which gives us a remaining runway length for takeoff of 3,700 meters. So 3700. Right, let's hit calculate one more time. And I think those are going to be our final takeoff data there. Okay, so oxygen is good, hydraulic quantities are good, engine oil quantities are good. Alright, the flaps are up and in agreement with the lever, the spoilers are retracted. So, parking brake off, brake check, looks good, and parking brake back on again. Alright, wonderful. Not sure where that master caution comes from, there's nothing on here. So, last thing before we start the boarding, I am going to commence our APU start. Here we go. So, batteries off, batteries on, elect DC, and they are charging. Perfect. Exactly how it should be. So, A330-200, that means the center tank is installed in the aircraft. That is not included on the 300s here. Okay, fire test. We might have forgotten the APU fire test earlier. Well, here we have it. And just to be sure that it's not doing an auto shutdown, no it isn't. Perfect. Okay, so this one is fitted with the this one is fitted with the cargo air conditioning in the forward compartment as well. So let's make sure that normal is selected. We can't select anything. It's broken on 0. Okay, I can't move this knob. Likewise, I can't move the temperature controller on the left side. Looks like all of this is not simulated at the moment. Ah well, so be it. Okay then, so let's see, what's our latest weather? It's 106, Kavok 4 degrees, 1030. Here we go, 1030 is set. And it's the 29th today, very good. GPS is selected. Everything looking good over here. So, frequencies, 122.8 going into here, and 121.5 going into here. On a quick note though, 1228 is used for a couple of Atuses over the US, so we might deselect this once we actually get out to the North Atlantic. Okay, ground control on, tilt +5, weather and turbulence is good. For the squawk, let's go with 2000 for the time being. System number 1, above selected, very good. Alright, and then we can go into the FMS. So, A330-200, CF6 engine, current nav database. Init, request, Paris to St. Martin, alternate Pointe-à-Pitre, Air France 498, cost index 10, flight level 370, and then let's go on. So, Paris departure, runway 09 right. Lima Golf Lima, 6 Golf Kilo, that seems to be it. Insert, and for the arrival over in St. Martin, on-off approach runway 10, and the transition from Manolo. Okay, whoopsie. So, quick check for our transition, TNCM. Charts, approaches, on-off approach runway 10. And we're coming in from Manolo, then we don't need any VIA anymore. Okay, insert. Perfect, so we can go ahead and pin that one already, just like we can already pin the ground chart. We don't need any of the arrival stuff and the vectoring chart. Alright, wonderful. So, back to Paris up here. Paris Charles de Gaulle, charts, airport. Now let's have a quick look at the overview chart. Something I like about the Lidos is that you can easily tell which parking chart you gotta look at. So you can see over here, for the area in here, we're looking at Aerodrome parking chart, Terminal 2 and S3. So let's go ahead and find that one. So, parking chart, tempo, Terminal 2 and Terminal S3. Perfect. So that's the one we need. So, then for our departures, off runway 9 left. Noise abatement departure, no. We need the Lima Golf Lima one. So let's take the west chart. That seems promising. Lima Golf Lima. 6, and we are going off. I tell you what, we're not going off runway 9 right, we're going off runway 8 left. Now I know why things looked a little bit different. Okay, so here we go. So 8 left, Papa Golf 081, 082, 088, Kielert, Lima Golf Lima. Yep, that looks about right. Okay, we can go ahead and remove the discontinuity up there. Excellent. So then, data, new waypoint, and we are looking for CDG emergency, I think number 2 over here. Alright, so that's going to be LFPG 08 left slash runway track is going to be 084 and 25 miles straight ahead. Store, thank you. Secondary copy active. CDGX2 into here with the holding 083 right turns, 1 minute lag time, that's good. And if we need to do an immediate return, LFPG, new destination, arrival ILS 08 left, insert. Okay, good, so onto the fix page, LFPG 08 left and 084 and the emergency waypoint CDGX2 into here. Excellent. So nothing on the radios. On the progress I am going to insert that runway as well, and then onto the init page. So 152 and 25, block fuel 59.5, and then let's go ahead and have a look at the fuel figures. And in the meantime we can redo our calculations here as well. So 08 left, and the Tora we already said is going to be 3,700. Perfect. Calculate, should be the same numbers. Yep, same numbers. Okay, onto the OFP then. Looking for the fuel figures. Here we are. So, contingency, 20 minutes is 1.9, alternate 3.2, final 2.1. So, 1.9, 3.2, 2.1. Oh god, 1.9. In the real world that works. In the real world you don't need the slash. Alright, that's looking good. Then taxi fuel 0.5. And last but not least the wind component. To the top, average wind, headwind 19 knots. That's not too bad. So H19. Okay, onto the performance then. Flaps 2, and what else do we have? 50 degrees, 58, 61, 63. Alright, looking good. Engine out acceleration 1840. And derated at 1, and here we go. Okay, and last but not least, since our performance is now entered, let's go into here, step altitudes. So 380 at... Oh wait, this one has a slightly different format than the ones I fly in the real world. So at Regi, flight level 380. And then at, let's see, 35 north, 40 west, flight level 400. Now the challenge is going to be to find the exact waypoint name of that one. So 3540N. 3540N/400. Okay. Perfect, so all those waypoints are in, and that's it. Last thing then, we've got to go down here and cross-check all our oceanic waypoints. So, Itiki, 48 north, 845 west. And bear with me, I am gonna do that from my iPad, so that I don't have to look around here all the time. So I'm just gonna do that off my physical iPad. Okay, 4720 is correct. Then we are going on to 4330, also correct. 3540, 3145, 2850, 2455, 2060, and at Obika we are already leaving the oceanic area again. Alright, 7 hours 37 minutes and 3,741 miles versus 3,723, and remaining fuel 13.5 is also looking good. Excellent. So with that, our FMS setup is complete. Then let's go ahead and set up the glare shield, flight director, initial climb probably 5,000 or something the likes, constraints and VORs, and the same on the other end side, and that's it. APU bleed can certainly come on now. Okay. Wonderful. So then I'd say we have pretty much entered everything. You have checked everything, I hope. So let's go ahead with our departure briefing, please. Okay, Paris, runway 8 left, Lima Golf Lima departure, initial climb 5000, MSA 3200, extra fuel and time. We have an hour and a half in the form of 6.5 tons. Wonderful. Hotspots for the taxi, I don't really see any. Stop margin reject the takeoff should be something about 100 meters. Engine outset on the runway track, climbing 25 miles, 4,000 feet. We can come back immediately above the max landing weight though, so if we have time available we are going to reach the overweight landing checklist. The ILS 8 left is programmed in the secondary, so if we need to return immediately we can do that at any time. I don't have any specials or non-standards over here. Do you see any threats? Nope. Beautiful. In that case, cockpit preparation checklist please. Gear pits and covers removed. Fuel quantity 59.5 tons. Balanced. Seatbelts on. ADRs. NAV, baro ref, QNH 1030. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. And then we can go ahead with the NUT HLA guideline, please. So, aircraft acceptance, ETOPS and PDSC are checked. RVSM equipment checked, clock and GPS mode checked, HF checked, message log erased, ADSC armed, ATC auto position reports off, IRS full align, performed, ground speed checked 0, NUT HLA waypoints on OFP versus primary flight plan cross-checked, wind data... did we do that? Nope, let's do it again. Alright, wind data is entered, and that's the guideline complete down to prior oceanic entry. And with the wind we now have an hour 18, flight time 7:45. That's still good. Alright, wonderful. So, things seem to be going quite well so far. Let's go for GSX, prepare for pushback and departure. And handling by someone. Don't need de-icing.
Due to icing conditions, please
no.
engine start until push completed and brake set.
Where exactly do you see icing conditions, my friend? I see blue skies. Well, maybe the ramp agent is as blue as the sky. Alright, in any case, let's say hello to our passengers.
Hello Captain, we are ready for pushback.
Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, from the flight deck this is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel and in the name of Air France, welcome aboard flight 498 to St. Martin. The flight time today is going to be 8 hours and 30 minutes and we do expect a mostly smooth flight. However, in the first couple of hours we may experience some smaller bumps. I would like to thank you very much for being our guests today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Thank you very much for your attention, and once again, welcome aboard. Alright, the bulk cargo is still open. GSX probably not able to control that, I guess. So, closing the bulk. Also still have the GPUs connected. Flight deck. You can remove external power, and please confirm doors and hatches closed, ground checks complete, and the pin is installed. All confirmed. Roger, stand by. So, zero fuel weight is exactly 152 with a CG at 25.4. 152/25.4. Okay, takeoff weight 211.1 and 211.5 in here is correct. Trim 4.9 up. Slash up 4.9. That's better. Alright, here we go. So, takeoff shift, let's put the initial 500 meters in there, and that's all we need. Okay, beautiful. Before start checklist, please. Park and brake is set. Takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 158, VR 161, V2 163, flex 50. Windows are closed and the beacon on before start checklist complete. Ground flight deck. Go ahead. So, pushback approved, park and brake set. So, nose is gonna go to the left, please.
Release parking brakes.
Park and brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at go.
Roger. Okay, and here we go. Gotta wait until we're clear of the white line. The good thing is the CF6 engines are starting really quick, so we don't have to worry about the any delay during the engine start. Okay, starting engines 1 and 2 in sequence. Engine 1 start. Well, let me start a timer over here. I want to see how long this is actually going to take.
Set parking brakes.
Brake set.
Parking gear.
This is taking too long. They are much quicker than that in the real world. The good news, however, is I did already send them a couple of recordings. So they do know what to do now. Alright, good start on 1, starting 2. Well, we don't actually need to take timing here, it's fully automated anyway.
Tow track disconnected, bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Okay, we have 2 good engine starts, clear to disconnect, show me the sign on the right please, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye. And here we go. So there he is, holding the pin in the hands. Wonderful. So, auto trim seems alright. Okay, after start checklist. Anti-ice, off, ecam status, checked, pitch trim, that's 25%, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete. Okay, clear on the left side, clear on the right side, let's go. Brake released. The plane should taxi and idle. Looks like it does, but very, very slow. Let's add a bit of thrust then to get moving. And to show you where we are going today. So we are taxiing out of here, and it's going to be a right-hand turn. And then all the way straight until eventually we can go somewhere down here, Tango 3, most likely for our takeoff. Alright, brake check. Pressure 0. Clear on the left side. Clear on the right side. Then right-hand turn onto Romeo, I believe it is. And we're clear on the right. So it's an A330-200 today. That means we don't have to apply as much oversteering as we have to on the 300. Those couple of meters do really show. Okay, flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. And we know the rudder is working, but since the tiller disconnect button doesn't really work in here, I am gonna ignore that for the time. Okay, I have no changes to the takeoff briefing. So, waiting for the cabin. It's just so incredibly nice to finally have an Airbus A330. It's been such a long time. And a decent Paris Charles de Gaulle scenery as well. It's of course not perfect, but it's something. Okay, cabin ready, taxi checklist. Flight controls, checked, flap setting, conv 2, radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto, engine start selector, norm, ecam memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist complete. So, we'll go towards Tango 3, which is at the end of the apron to the left. Tango 6 over here. That's for narrow-body aircraft. With our A330, we do need a little bit more runway. And look at that. Looks like flight director 2 is not on yet. Here we go. That's better. Okay, so Romeo November 3 on the left, that's the one. So let's slow it back down, 10 knots. So we should be just about here now. So this should lead us straight towards Tango 3. Okay, Tango 3 it is indeed. Excellent. So then, cabin crew, prepare for departure. No, not you. You. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway. 08 left, Tango 3. TCAS, Tara, PAX 1 and 2. Off, lineup checklist complete. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Takeoff. Manflex 50, SS runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. .100 knots. Checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav. Checked. So 15 degrees pitch should bring us a stable airspeed. The aircraft seems to be rather underpowered there. We noticed the same with the 300 already. Thrust decline 1, climb auto thrust. Flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. And flaps 0. Speed checked. Flaps 0. Okay, departure bonjour, Air France 498 Heavy, 2200, climbing 5000. Air France 498 De Gaulle bonjour, climb flight level 100. Climbing flight level 100, Air France 498. 10,000 blue. The sounds are really well done. I like the engine sounds very much. So, unfortunately the A330 really doesn't climb all too good. 1800 feet a minute here. But yeah, that's the A330 for you. Those climb derates obviously don't help, but they do save money, and they do save a lot of it. Autopilot 1. Set standard. Standard cross-check, passing flight level 46. Now. Checked. Oh boy, going right into the sun here. Oh, what's that? Sunshade doesn't move here. Yep, seems to be bugged. Huh. Okay then, well, that sun is a little bit lower than I thought. But I think once we have made the next turn, we should be clear and it shouldn't get too dark inside the cockpit any longer. In the meantime though, I'm sure you are looking for... Where is it? This? Okay, starting the turn. "2,000 feet a minute rate of climb" really isn't too good, but honestly, that's how this aircraft is. So let's now go up to flight level 250. In the meantime, quick look down here. Optimum 362, maximum 383. So 370, as per the flight plan, is just about perfect for us. Now we've got the sun on our side, so let's close this and this. Now here's a fun little story. In my first video flying the 330, I said, why does this shade move so quickly? I did ask AnyBuilds, and you can see the reason why over here. So you can see how it bends backwards around the electronic flight bag, and this is indeed something that we're struggling with in the real world as well. When you put the sunshade in place, you gotta get it around the EFB, which is clipped onto the window over here. And getting it around the EFB is sometimes a little bit fiddly, and since they didn't know how to simulate that properly, they just made this one appear instantly. Quite a story if you know about it. So, let's have a look if there is any good direct thrust to take, but not really, huh? Right, 10,000. So, I think we can release our guests already. So, onto the airports, and then clear and copy, please. Alright, 361, 384, cruising in 370 seems good to me. Perfect. So then, let's go ahead and set flight level 370 up here. And then back into the OFP, and we can start to program our ETOPS waypoints. So, entry. So, entry 1. It's going to be at 4725.8. And the west coordinate is 1631.8. Okay, store that. New waypoint. That's going to be the equal time 0.01. And that's between Lajes and St. Martin. Okay, that's an easy number to remember. North 30. Oh, 0.0 actually. And the west coordinate 4644.1. Okay, store that one, and new waypoint. Exit 1. And that one's 2228.4. And the west coordinate 5657.9. Alright, store. Then flight plan, fix info. Entry 1. Then we've got the equal time point 01 and exit 1. Alright. Let's have a look at that on the plan page to make sure that we haven't messed up the programming. So, entry 1 exactly located on our route. The equal time point is also exactly on the route. And the exit point is as well. Okay, perfect. That's all the waypoints we needed to enter for now. On a small little note over here though, if we have a look at the flight plan online, then we can see something. So let's bring that flight plan up one more time. If we look at this, we can see that we actually should have another couple of ETOPS points. Unfortunately, SimBrief is currently unable to generate more than one ETOPS leg per flight. So normally what we should have is over here we've got the entry point number 1. Then we should have an equal time point between Santiago and Lajes, somewhere over here I suppose. And then we have exit point number 1 over here, which is not in the flight plan at all. You can see the ETOPS exit point is located down here. So we should have an exit over here, because this part of the flight over here is not an ETOPS flight. This is within 60 minutes from Lajes. Then over here should be entry point 2. Then this should be an equal time point 2. And this should be ETOPS exit 2. But unfortunately that is currently not simulated by SimBrief. So SimBrief can't generate the data for us just yet. Hopefully that's going to be added with a future version. For sure, I'm going to write an email about it to the folks at Navigraph and hope that they are going to improve that soon. Okay, well, and that's everything we needed to do for now. So I tend to say I'm going to see you all a little bit later as we are progressing on our trip towards St. Martin. So for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. We are getting closer to our destination airport and the top of descent is already in reach. Let's go ahead and start to prepare for our approach into Saint Martin, however you want to call it. So first things first, let's go ahead and have a look at our charts, which hopefully are indeed going to work today. So for the airports we are looking at Princess Juliana International, and in terms of our weather conditions, let's do an update and see what we're about to get. The wind is 100 at 9, slightly variable, 10 kilometers visibility, 6,000 towards the northeast, showers in the vicinity, broken clouds 1200 CB, broken 1600, 27 degrees, QNH 1014. So let's go ahead and start with the QNH 1014. Is pre-selected. Also, we are leaving the North Atlantic area here, so let's go back to North Reference Magnetic, and then let's go ahead and find the approach charts. So the RNAV approach runway 10 is our plan for the day. So RNAV GNSS runway 10. Let's go ahead and have a look into the procedure itself, provided that it would load. Don't tell me it messed up once again. Looks like it did mess up once again and can't load the charts. That's gotta be a bug on longer flights. For some reason we had that on the last long-haul flight as well here. For some reason it seems to lose connectivity to the chart servers after a little while. Okay, so be it. We can live with that for the time being. I will use offline charts then. In any case, what we need to know for our flight so far is our approach starts at Manolo above 2,600, and then we basically have the RNAV procedure right over here all the way onto the final approach. Now, in case of a go-around, the missed approach point is Mapen, and from there it's going to be a right-hand turn towards onbed, climbing 4,000. And that 205 knot restriction over here can be, I think it can be ignored. Let's see. No, clean speed 225, so we'll ask ATC to relieve us of the speed restriction. We don't need any nav aids for our landing runway. That's going to be TNCM10. So, for our weather, we're going to descend at 0.79 that looks okay. And then destination weather, QNH 1014, 27 degrees, 100 at 9. And here we go. So 129 knots approach speed, and that is something that I really like about the Airbus A330-200. The plane just flies so incredibly slow on the approach. You would think it is a huge aircraft, which it is, but nonetheless, the approaches themselves are really, really slow. Something to be aware of when you are flying into large airports such as New York, where you might have a 747 behind you that could be a lot faster than yourself. Okay, in any case, continuing on here, we do need some approach charts, which I'm just about using offline. The minimum for this one is going to be 770, and if we use those, then the maximum 205 knot restriction does not apply. So for the minimum 770, and in case of go-around we're climbing to 4,000 feet, the MSA is 4,100, so that means engine out acceleration in 4,000. Okay, an hour and 24 minutes extra, that's pretty much all of our contingency fuel over here. Remember, if we look into the OFP, then they gave us the ETOPS fuel, and that's the one I meant, of course, not contingency. So over here we can see ETOPS fuel 5.2, contingency was 1.9, and the 5.2 leaves us 1,000 extra, so we did use a little bit more fuel, even though interestingly enough it still includes a route reserve over here, which doesn't make a lot of sense. That should normally be blank in flight. So the route reserve should go to 0, because otherwise you can see the minimum destination fuel on board equals final plus alternate, but now we don't know what does it base the extra on. I mean, 10.9 minus 4.7, yeah, it gives us the 6.2, so this over here should just have gone blank. Okay, anyway, I think we are pretty much good to go. So, the important question now is our landing performance, and I will go auto brake medium over here. The aircraft is equipped with a brake fan, so it's not going to be too much of a problem if we get hot brakes. Okay. And that should be our setup. Okay. Time for the approach briefing then. So, we are doing the RNAV approach runway 10 with a Manolo shortcut. Well, I'm thinking shortcut here, we will do a shortcut, but for now the RNAV runway 10 with the Manolo transition. MSA 4,100 feet, and the minimum is going to be 770. Go around trajectory straight ahead to the missed approach point if we go around early, otherwise just the right hand turn out immediately, and then establish on the track climbing 4,000 feet. The higher minimum of 770 means we don't need to obey that speed restriction of 205, so we can retract the flaps all the way. Extra fuel, more than enough. Alright, sounds good. The guidance for the approach is going to be raw data, visual towards the end. Initially, we are going to use final approach mode. Landing config full, stop margin not all that much. Reversers will be used, auto brake medium. We'll do the 180 at the end and then vacate the runway towards the right hand side after the 180. I don't see any hotspots, and in terms of special or non-standards, I don't really have anything there. Well, we've got to turn off the flight directors prior to the missed approach point once we have the runway in sight, which shouldn't be a problem today. Okay. Any questions? No? Perfect. Then let's go ahead and start our descent. Let's go flight level 200 at first. Thrust descent, descent alt, flight level 200 blue. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We have started our descent towards St. Martin with a remaining flight time of about half an hour. We have already turned on the fasten seatbelt signs, so please return to your seats and follow the cabin crew's instructions for our arrival. The latest weather in St. Martin, a few clouds and a few warm afternoon showers in the area at a temperature of 27 degrees. We'd like to thank you for choosing Air France for today's flight. Hope you have enjoyed it as much as we did, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board of a future service. Thank you very much for your attention. We wish you unforgettable holidays and hope to see you all again soon. Okay. So, this is normally the point in time where we could expect some shortcuts. We are just about reaching the domestic area here. So, let's say direct to. Let's see what we've got here. I'd say OMOD. So, direct, OMOD, and that's interesting. That definitely shouldn't happen. Okay, insert. So, apparently we're 3,500 feet low now, which I don't really believe. We only removed above restrictions, we've cut our way short, and now it tells us we are below the profile. That doesn't really make sense. Maybe this one here is the problem. For some reason it bugs up the next waypoint. This is looking better. Okay, well, we are going to monitor the VNAV progress, and unless anything different happens, I will get back to you once we are getting closer to our destination. Now, for the time being, we can already descend 2,600. That's what I love about many of those, let's call it, rather remote Caribbean airports. They just give you superb shortcuts and directs. Okay, so set QNH. QNH 1014 cross-check, passing 34,140 now. Alright, and then I see you as we're getting a little bit further down. So, these must be the TCUs that we've had in our meta report. Let's go ahead and just update the latest weather over here. I want to see if there's anything new. No, but a few 1200 CBs. Okay. Showers in the vicinity. Yeah, that's pretty much what we can see outside here as well. So, approaching 10,000. Lights on. Constraints, no LS today, since we are going to fly an RNAV approach. However, we do have GPS primary with a high accuracy, and the engine start selector is in norm. Then let's go ahead and do the approach checklist, please. Barrow reference, QNH 1014, seatbelts, on, minimum, Barrow 770, auto brake, medium, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist complete. So, 16 miles straight ahead to OMOD, and thereafter we are going to join the final. And well, here we go. St. Martin starts to slowly come up in the dust. Well, in the mist, we should say. If we find dust over here, something is seriously wrong. Anyway. The sim just looks superb, doesn't it? Really good clouds. And well, just look at the terrain outside. Totally love it. Also, something nice for your screenshots and photos. On the 200, you can actually see the wing rather easily from the cockpit, which makes for some great photos. Okay, a little bit of turbulence on the way down. Can't really change that. Okay, a couple more clouds to go through, and then we should hopefully have it with the turbulent ones. In areas as warm as the Caribbean, you can assume even those smaller clouds here to have some rather significant turbulence in them. Okay, the rest is mostly stratus that should not be turbulent at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. So, auto flight off. So, the decel point is just prior to Avaki. I have a feeling I'm going to start decelerating once we're passing OMOD though. Otherwise we just end up very fast on the final approach. Okay, so the cabin should be ready by now. Nonetheless, let's just give him a call so that we don't end up with the ECAM message missing like we did on the last couple of flights. Yeah, speed limit exceeded. I disagree with you, but activate the approach phase, please. "16 knots of headwinds on the final, that is very good. And I have a feeling we need a bit of speed brake to help the airplane getting down. Even full speed brake here. Let's go. Okay. Final approach of blue. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Okay, down to 1700. Approach nav. And the glide is coming in. Final approach. Go around altitude 4000. Flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. Gear down. Checked, and let's use a little bit more speed brake here. Decelerating an A330 on final approach really isn't that easy, so we've gotta make sure that we get it right. Here's what I mean. It barely loses airspeed. Okay, flap 3. Speed checked. Flap 3. And flaps full. Speed checked. Flaps full. And it looks like the cabin is still not quite ready. Let's give him another ding. Here we go. Oh, very nice. A rainbow. So we should need around 57-58% N1 on the final. A little bit more right now because we are just a tad below the profile. Okay, flight directors off, bird on. And set runway track. Landing checklist. Econ memo. Landing, no blue. Landing checklist complete. Okay, the runway is in sight on the 12 o'clock. Checked. There it is. We can see the poppies. Continue. Visibility is really just about at the minimum for the approach, but oh, what's the speed target doing there? That's definitely not right. That looks better. We can definitely feel the downdrafts every now and then. What is our speed target doing? This is a turbulent one. Come on. We don't want to have to go around for this, do we? So, please load the airport. Oh boy, scenery loading at its best once again. Spotters, reverse green. Decel. $70 knots. Manual brakes. Man, feels like we've just landed in Flight Simulator 2000. What a pity after an 8-hour 40 flight. Something that I really don't understand is I have the airport locally in my community folder. This is not the Asobo St. Martin, this is the Airworthy Designs. So it is a local add-on in my computer. Why can't it load? Why can't it load the textures straight away? Why are they so blurry when we land? That doesn't make sense. So, very easy to lose your speed and accidentally stop the aircraft in a turn like this. Gotta add a little bit of power. That's looking good. So, after landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear, off. After landing checklist complete. So, APU, time to start. So, there is a free gate available, that's good. I was a little bit afraid it would just clock the entire terminal with AI aircraft. But looks like it didn't, that's a good thing already. But it put a light just on the middle of the center line. Because why not? Sometimes I don't understand developers. Don't they do proper beta testing? Bye-bye. Okay, we're gonna take the gate over here. Let's see if GSX is gonna work or not. That should be Alpha 3. Follow me, no thanks. Handling by Menzies. Shut down engine 2. And stop. Okay, brake set, APU bleed, and shut down. Oh, they open the cabin door before the engine is shut down. Congratulations. Cabin crew, all down and park. Okay, parking checklist. Parking brake out shocks, brake set, engines off, wing light off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. Thank you very much. It surely was a lot of fun to fly this one. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Be sure to give me your feedback in the comments below. As always, I'm really looking forward to your feedback on the flight. And if you liked it as much as I did, I would appreciate a like, a comment to let me know what you think about it, and if you're up for more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Finally, if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.